めてもやまない。そっけない君の笑顔が恋しくて、星に願うのまた会えるよね。
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Odyssey 2024 Season 1. This is week number 2. Last week we had 2 matches. We have 2 matches again for you all this week. And that very first match will be Essence Thieves against Ape Primate Experiment, or Ape for short. Today on the casting desk, we have myself, Ferris, and then we have Drewbert this time, who will be joining me to cast these games. And so we'll be taking a look at the draft, which is actually all laid out for us here. And we don't actually have to go through it one by one, pick by pick, band by band. So we have everything for ourselves laid out here right off the hop.
It's just more efficient that way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Efficiency, quickness. It's all here. And I guess as the game goes on in the dead time and everything, right? We can talk about things that we haven't talked about just yet.
True.
Helps out a little bit, right? So there's pluses and minuses to it all.
Hopefully, someone in the chat tell me if you can hear me. I know Ferris can hear me.
Yeah, I'm not talking to ghosts here. I'm talking to Drewbert. So if you can't hear Drewbert on the stream, type in the chat if that's the case, so that Drewbert can assess that problem if it exists.
Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Maybe. Oh, thanks. I love the
maybe.
Yeah, so we'll never know. Maybe talking to yourself.
What a chaotic answer.
Thank you.
That person just decided to be so evil.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Jeff. Well, I think it's a good point. We can talk throughout it, but both these teams looked pretty good week 1, if I remember.
Yeah, I think they both won their very first match. Yeah. And they were convincing wins too. I don't think there was, I mean, the start of the games were close, like most games are, and then it really did spiral into both of these teams having comfortable wins. So 2 dominant wins for both of these teams. We'll see how they match up against each other and who's going to remain undefeated and who is going to take their first loss of the season.
Yeah. And the magic of streaming, give us like 4 to 5 seconds and we should be in game. So hold tight here. We're going to kick it in the game.
Going to utilize this combo to their advantage, how strong it will be. I actually don't know if the burn that Milio applies to the enemies when the person she has shielded attacks them, does that apply off Ezreal's Q? I have a feeling it would because it's technically an attack. Like a basic attack.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
We'll find out. We'll find out. But if that's the case, this could actually be a nice combo. Lots of crowd control as well with the Amumu, follow up with Yone, strong 1v1 with Garen and pick potential. And looking at the other side for Essence Thieves, what do you think about the Essence Thieves draft, Rupert?
I'm thinking it's pretty good. They have some strong picks that could snowball. I'm just worried if the Draven doesn't start to snowball, what it could mean. Okay, with any luck and barring any technical difficulties, you should see the game now. Do you?
I do see the game.
Okay, and I see the game. And hopefully the stream sees the game. So we all see the game.
Hopefully the stream sees the game, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the Draven has the potential to... It's one of those champions where if you can get rolling early, obviously it can snowball and take over like the entire early and mid game, but also if he can't cash in those stacks, like it can kind of swing the other way. And I think Ezreal definitely will be more useful late game if Draven doesn't end up dominating this lane early.
Yeah, they're both... Oh, nice immediate double root there by Talia there to start the lane phase. Both Draven and Ezreal, they're not the greatest when it comes to scaling, but I think in a famine situation, Ezreal is a lot better. So yeah, Draven is the little bit more volatile pick. Olaf in the top lane is interesting. Munchman going to play this one here. It's sort of a I would like to say it's kind of similar to something like a Draven in the top side. You really want to run down your opponent and get those kills and be that threat in the top side in the 1v1 to really be successful. And against Garen, it could be tricky because, as we know, Garen can silence you, lay down the Ignite, Smoke has taken Ignite in this matchup, and then execute you from almost like 40% HP. So that could be tough for Olaf.
Ooh,
so another interesting.
around.
Yeah, here comes the wraparound. So we see an early gank here from Key. Onto Talia, the hook does land. The second bandage toss lands as well. Talia gonna flash away last second and get out of this one. So no kills land just yet, but Mr. Miyagi wants to actually keep following this one up. Exhaust does come down, but it's going to be cleansed away. Supro going to have to use the flash. The heal does come up for Ranger, but not how Mr. Miyagi has overextended, is going to have to use a flash of his own to get out. No fatalities in this early exchange, but lots of summoners blown.
So we're definitely going to return to the bot lane, I have a feeling, soon. Summoner-wise, I actually think Red Side will be quite happy. Ape will be fine with that because Ezreal, with that Arcane Shift, can function without his flash a lot better than the Draven can. So a lot of summoners blown, so I anticipate repeat ganks here in the bot lane quite soon.
Yeah, and they actually haven't reset just yet, so Talia has to be careful, and he's actually going to drop for first blood over to Supro. This is going to be a double kill right here. They actually got really greedy there. I'm surprised they didn't reset, so they're going to get punished for staying. And like we talked about, Draven already in this 2v2 is going to fall a little bit behind here. 2 kills to Ezreal is something you absolutely want if you are playing up against that Draven.
Yeah, no, 100%. We see Hero Joe. I don't know if I'll find anything here.
Is he going to land the Q? Oh my goodness, the Q lands through the flash, the resonating strike to follow, plus the shuriken, and that is going to be a kill in the mid lane. So something traded back here, and not all bad because they do get the trade back in the mid lane.
So one thing I do want to track, following over from the draft, is Ape through, I think, 4, maybe even 5 bans towards Sinja in the mid lane. So they really targeted his champ pool as maybe a lane they were worried about or want to kind of put behind. So we'll see if he can perform on the Akali. If he can, that'll bode really well for Essence Thieves because again he was definitely targeted in the draft. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Well, it's already a good start. They did get that kill onto Hero Joe's Lee Sin, and it's a solid CS lead for Sinja as well. So far, the success is being found in that mid lane. Looking towards just where these junglers are right now, Hero Joe cleared the red. Going to look for a reset. Some counter jungling happening here by Key, who's waiting over around that Gromp. And now the first neutral objectives of the game have spawned here at the 5-minute mark. So the Grubs are alive. The Chemtech Drake is alive. We'll see if a split map situation happens or if we see some contention around these objectives in the future.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like Grubs are going to go over, at least initially, to probably the first 3, I'd have to guess, are going to go the way of the Amumu and Ape.
We are actually going to see a contest. Yeah, so Hero Joe going to get involved here. I think 2 Grubs went the way of Ape, and then Hero Joe here has secured that final one, so it's going to be 2-1, and Key doesn't have a way out of here. Remember, no flash, and this Amumu has absolutely no escape tools except for the bandage toss once that flash is burned, and is just going to be easy pickings here. And it is actually Sinja who made his way up from the mid lane to grab that kill. So we talked about this mid laner here, lots of bans thrown towards him, and now with the level 6 advantage in the mid lane is going to go for the solo kill. Kizak has no flash, going to go into the E ability there to try and escape, but it's not going to work. The last 5-point strike is going to finish the job. 2 kills now for the Akali in quick fashion.
Yeah, no, very impressive Akali play there. 2 kills up and quite a healthy CS lead as well. So, if your Draven isn't going to be snowballing, well, one possible remedy for that is a snowballing Akali in the mid lane to kind of smooth out your passage into the mid game. But no, that was really nice. It's good to see. Apparently, you can't ban him out. You throw 4, you throw 5 bans at him, and he still has some left in the tank there. So.
Yeah, signs of a really, really strong player, a threat at all times in this tournament. Sinja will be if you can't ban out this player's champion pool. And so have to keep your eyes on the Akali. Things could get really messy from here. We do see Hero Joe on the minimap moving up into the enemy jungle, but just going to use the Scry Bloom to try and clear out the vision here that Supro and Revenger maybe have set up. up in that brush there, and maybe look towards starting this Chemtech Drake. We see trading in the top side. In this mid lane, I see lots of prio here for Sinja. That's going to be really good for priority on this Drake for the side of Essence Thieves. We'll see how well they utilize that, and if they look towards this soon. They're looking for a play. Preparing myself here. This is good stuff. You move into the jungle with your really strong mid laner, and there's almost no way that the enemy team can contest you, so they're just getting lots of vision down and sort of making an extended play here to set up for the Drake.
Yeah, I think Drake is the right call. A dive is pretty tough into Milio with that healing, and Ezreal can just be so slippery under the tower. So I think it's just, safe to assume they're going to set for the Drake.
Oh, Kizak's going to get caught out here. Still no flash. Is going to use the Fate Sealed, but the Shuriken will follow him through all that distance, and Sinja picks up kill number 3 for a killing spree. And now it's actually going to be Key who's going to have to try and evacuate this area after his mid laner has been assassinated. I see some fighting down there over on the minimap. We see some trading in topside now, but there goes the Curse of the Sad Mummy to try and escape. Key is on the run. The healing from Milio is doing enough to keep him alive. Mr. Miyagi in pursuit, but there's no more for Essence Thieves. And I do believe Hero Joe going to try and start up this dragon, but Supra with the Arcane Shift goes over the wall and using the True Shot Barrage to finish off the kill and get a killing spree for himself. Excellent heads-up play from the AD carry of Ape. And that's going to secure a kill and shut down that Draven. But it's still going to be the dragon going to go the way of Essence Thieves unless a Smite Steal is found. They're hovering. Key does want to go in for this. There's the Sonic Wave. It's going to land. Resonating Strike to follow. Bandage Toss does cancel it. Safeguard back towards the Zyra. They're going to try and find the Smite. Sinja's now here to force away the enemy jungler, but the flash forward from Key, but not enough to close the gap and get the Smite down. Talia almost falls, and this play will continue. Kizak from the Death Realm now flashing forward inside of that E ability to try and finish off some of these kills, but doesn't have the damage. Now going to be met with Sinja on the pullback, but is going to be able to safely disengage with the Q3. Wow. Drake goes over, but a few kills go the way of Ape.
Yeah, that was a that was a more contested Drake than I thought it was going to be with the setup. So I mean, well done to secure the dragon, but we're taking a look at the top lane here. This is what top lane's like when neither laner has TP. It is just one-on-one. You're locked in a death match, and I think these two gentlemen are going to be up here for quite a minute before one of them decides to wander out of lane.
Yeah, we're actually going to see a bit of a 1v1 happen here. The Ragnarok is popped. Look at the Demacian standard there. The Garen ultimate comes through and almost takes out Munchman, who is going to have to flash away from that play. Very close on the top side, but none of them do fall. And yeah, they are, like you said, none of them have teleport, so they're going to be pretty locked and loaded in that side lane. And whoever does start winning that 1 versus 1 is going to be a really big asset in this game. And Munchman, you are very greedy for staying like this. He is going to use the W shield, and Hero Joe is here to try and save him, but he is going to drop, but the trade is going to be there. Yeah, you're almost certainly going to die, but at least your jungler is there for the trade, so a 1-for-1 in the top side.
Yeah, looking like they want to parlay that over into more grubs if they can make it happen.
Well, Sinja's been found, and there's a 350 gold bounty on this Akali's head. The Bandage Toss is going to connect, but I don't think there's enough damage on Key to really finish off that play. Second Bandage Toss does not land. Fate Sealed is going to find Hero Joe, plus the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and that is going to be the shutdown. 450 gold total going into the pocket of Kizak, and that's going to start to remedy the gold deficit in the mid lane, and also set up Key to start the grubs.
Yeah, so they should be able to pick up, unless an Olaf comes in for a steal somehow, they should be able to pick up 5 grubs here. I felt like I almost jinxed them. Yeah, they should be able to get all 5 grubs, which, while not as good as 6, does still get you that tower pushing. It'll still spawn the little void mites. So, yeah, they'll be happy with that. Getting 5 is still good.
Yeah, I had to look to the overlay. I was like, did he actually steal that with the spinning or the throwing axe? But no,
I thought
that would have been quite a crazy play. Yeah. But 5 grubs, very good. You don't get the 2 Void Might spawns that you get with 6, but you still get the 1 Void Might there. It can help tank the tower. It does. I don't know if its damage is really that much of a benefit, but it does allow you to get a few more hits for yourself. It acts as like an extra minion, and it can be a little tanky. So that's nice for the sieging power here for Ape. But they do have to, before they can think about sieging these towers, think about remedying that deficit that they have in the jungle and in the mid lane, maybe utilizing their bot advantage to fix that up, and then they can start to really take down these towers.
Yeah, Supro here on Yezreal, he's got Essence Reaver. He's actually had Essence Reaver for a minute now. So he's going to start hurting. The poke is going to start sticking a lot more. If, Mr. Miyagi and Talia aren't careful, they're going to find themselves consistently at low health, especially if he can land some of these Qs. But we'll see. They can go aggressive.
Yeah, so there's the Zyra ultimate used, and that's going to knock up Revenger. The Whirling Death comes through, and I think this Milio is going to drop. The fadeaway axe will follow the flash, and Mr. Miyagi will cash in his first kill of the game, and that's exactly what you want from your Draven if you are Essence Thieves. Nice play from the Essence Thieves bot lane.
I've been there. I've been that Milio before. You flash us a split second too late, and it's more like insult to injury because you lose the sum, and the attack still follows you, but... yeah, that'll feel good for the Draven to get him back into the game.
Oh, Smoke, you got so aggressive for that play. But wait, the axe does miss. Hero Joe is going to try and find this kill, but Munchman doesn't need any help there. And there's the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 2. Key has found his way into the bot side, but here comes Sinja on the teleport. Exhaust does come through from Supro, but that will do nothing to save the Ezreal's life. The shutdown goes the way of Mr. Miyagi on the Draven. Gets 2 kills for himself now. There's the Milio ultimate, but it's not enough. It's going to be a double kill, make that 3 kills now total for Mr. Miyagi, but is going to fall here to the Fate Sealed. The teleport from Kizak will get a kill back for a bloody exchange in the bot lane, but Mr. Miyagi is right back in it.
Yeah, no, that three kills is just a shot in the arm that he needed there. You can see he gets his first completed item, gets him back on track a little bit.
Hero Joe going to go in. Oh, Warthog maybe looking for that insect play, but not going to find it just yet. Kizak goes into his spirit form, but with the Milio healing should be okay.
Yeah, nothing more going to transpire here. Dragon number 2 is up, waiting for which of our teams wants to start it up, and it looks like Essence Thieves is going to take the lead here.
Yep, they have the first step onto the Dragon. A contest still could come through. The Dragon's still relatively healthy, but it is actually dwindling a lot quicker now that those Zyra plants have been summoned. Key just finishes up the blue buff, so this will be a 2 Drake advantage going the way of Essence Thieves. They're 2 away from that soul, and this is something that they can play for. Despite having that early disadvantage in the bot side, they're still able to collect those Drakes, and so it's kind of been a trade for Drake and Grubs. Personally, if you can convert this 2 Drake lead into a soul, it's much more worth it than the Grubs, in my personal opinion, as we see a 1v1 here in the mid lane. Lots of HP actually taken off of Sinja's health bar by Kizak, but it doesn't develop into a soul kill.
Yeah,
so yeah,
really nice use of the Shroud. Really nice use of the Shroud, kind of dance around those Yone abilities, and he's able to sneak out. No problem there.
So Rift Herald is on the map. That's going to be maybe the next thing that these teams look for. Sometimes Rift Herald isn't a play that's gone for, but this is the next neutral objective to look to. And both of these top laners are really beaten into each other right now. So one solo kill could mean the turn to the Rift Herald as the next play for these teams.
Unless they're willing to rotate up their bot lane, I think 8 probably lets the Herald go if push comes to shove.
Oh, Munchman, be careful. There's the ultimate. That's why Garen is so dangerous, because you really only have 60% of your health bar, which is your true health bar, because once that ultimate comes through, you are just going to die straight up from 40% HP. The Sonic Wave is going to land through the Fate Sealed, and Hero Joe will fly towards Kizak underneath his tower and pick up that kill. Key does drop the Curse of the Sad Mummy, but can't save his friend. That might mean Rift Herald here for Essence Thieves.
Yeah, we'll see Smoke sneaking around on the Garen, so...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Garen is not on Essence Thieves' team. I was looking at the menu, I was thinking that Garen was on his team. No. Smoke finds that kill. Mr. Miyagi in the bot side. True Shot Barrage going to split him in half, and there is the kill for Supro. 5-1 now for this Ezreal. And all across the map, we are seeing fights happen going either way. Essence Thieves and Ape. It's a close game.
Yeah, it is super close. Gold is slightly in favor of Essence Thieves right now, but... I am looking at that 5-kill Ezreal. He hasn't backed, so we'll see what he buys on his next back. That tier is fully stacked. It will be very interesting. I'm a bit worried for Essence Thieves if we start getting some proper team fights, because I feel like I could see Supro wreaking some havoc Not the easiest AD carry to lock down, and a lot of Essence Thief gold is on that Akali. And there are certainly easier ADCs for her to pin down, so I'll be curious to see how these like 5v5s pan out.
And this is the point where Ezreal's the strongest when your mana item is completed. It was actually the tier start for Supro, so we stacked that tier a lot faster. Smoke could be in trouble here. The bush camp from Munchman comes through, but they don't quite have the damage to finish off the Garen. And so Smoke will just limp back to the tower with about 30% HP. But this Ezreal, like I was saying, at your biggest power spike is right now. Maybe 3 items could be bigger depending on if you go Frozen Heart or Spear of Shojin. I think Spear of Shojin would be the better choice since there's a Fed Akali. Frozen Heart not as much value. But yeah, Ezreal is super strong, like you were saying, Drewbert. And if you land those Qs, you can 1v9, like straight up. This champion has like almost a limitless ceiling. So we'll see. We'll see what Supro can do. It's a tough champion to pilot, but very rewarding if you can get it done. And here's the blast going over the wall. They really want to contest this Rift Herald. Curse of the Sad Mummy comes through, but it's Hero Joe with the smite. Talia drops down the ultimate as well. Smoke is going to use the ultimate of his own to take down that Olaf. Hero Joe locked up in the middle of 3 members. It's going to be a 1-for-1, but Sinja now gets involved in the play. Actually, it's a double kill for the Garen, but that kill is going to be traded back as Sinja with the R2 will pick that one up. A 2-for-2 across the board. Actually, a 3-for-2 because 3 members did drop here for Essence Thieves. 3-for-1, actually. I'm getting mixed up. All the bodies drop in. It's kind of hard to keep track of who's dying from which team, but after the fact, we can see that that was definitely a favored fight here for Ape.
Yeah, Ape will be feeling pretty good on that. I think they're gonna have a much easier time in these proper team fights. We will see if that holds to be true. Sinja,
yeah, Key has found Sinja. The Shuriken will land and take him to safety mid tier 1 under siege, and Supro and Revenger with that priority gonna knock that one down successfully, and that is second turret of the game. So 2 turrets to 0 right now in favor of Ape. Yeah, they're pulling ahead. They have about a 400 gold lead. Make that 300 now. They're feeling good. Yeah, they're feeling good in this mid game.
Yeah. No, they should be feeling good. Honestly, it does... the fact that Ezreal is so ramped up in terms of his just like power curve right now, it definitely will offset a bit of the Yone having a tougher time in lane. Because Yone can... I mean, he can essentially just play Disruptor in these team fights. And all you really need to do is kind of buy space and time for Supro to kind of hurl out the damage from the backline, and they should be able to carry these fights pretty easily, I would guess.
Oh, Smoke just went for some honey fruit there and walked into 4 members of Ape, and like, just like you said, Drewbert, there's a 2-person fate sealed, gonna find the kill onto Talia. Sinja trying to do his best in the backside to make it a 1-for-1, but Smoke is going to live. Munchman with Hero Joe here in this front line, but 4-person Curse of the Sad Mummy lands, but there's no follow-up. It's still going to be a 1 fight here for SNC so far. Kizak going to drop so many members. It's a triple kill for Sinja, following Supro, trying to do his very best to deal the DPS in the backside. Shuriken's not going to land, and this play will end with a 3-for-4 in favor of the Essence Thieves in the river.
Yeah, that fight looked really good, at least the start of it for Ape, but I think critically Supro was on in the new map terrain. He was like on the other side of that really long wall, and so all he could do is kind of hurl abilities over top of it until the fight kind of progressed further up the river towards mid lane. So it wasn't quite the right setup I think that Ape would have been looking for in an ideal situation, and Sinja definitely just wreaked havoc on that Akali. Those are essentially the plays they're going to need to kind of come out ahead on these fights. But yeah, gold is basically dead even, so we've definitely got ourselves a game right now.
We do have ourselves a game, and there's a handful of bounties, a couple of bounties on the side of Ape. We have Supro's bounty, we have Kizak's bounty, and then you have 1 bounty on the side of Essence Thieves as Key goes in. That's going to be that 1k on the head of Sinja. Munchman now leading the charge, trying to take out this jungler who's going to use the bandit toss towards the Gromp to escape. Some nice tactics there from the Amumu to get out of dodge. And there's going to be no kills in that exchange. It's the Cloud Drake right now, remember. 3rd Drake on the line here for the Essence Thieves on their way to that soul. Smoke now in the front line, trying to tank up for the squad, buying time for Supro to land those Qs.
This is a lot better setup.
Yep, insane. Actually, Fate Sealed is going to land for Kizak, who used the Shroud to cover so much distance, but there's the trade. That's the R1 used from Sinja. I think is still holding that R2, is ready to go, and into the backline they go. Supro does not realize, but I think Sinja's gone too far. Is silenced. That's 1K. That's going to go towards the Garen, and is now going to continue to lead the charge onto Munchman while the rest of Ape finishes off that Dragon. Excellent plays from the Ape top laner, and Munchman now running for his life, trying to escape, but there really isn't anywhere to go. Is going to just delay the inevitable with this chase in the jungle. Stridebreaker finishes off the kill, and Ape is now on top.
Yeah, Sinja found such a good engage on the backline. He actually landed basically the exact targets you would want with that flank, but it was just a bit desynced, and the rest of Essence Thieves couldn't follow up. Mostly because they were dealing with, again, a lot of the disruption from the Yone ultimate. So as they were dealing with that on the bot side, Sinja, again, finds his targets, but can't confirm the kills, and Ape just ekes out a victory there. Supro, I don't know if you caught that damage onto the Draven early on in that fight, but yeah, that QW combo is it's packing quite a bit of DPS right now.
Yeah, Smoke's going to find Hero Joe inside the jungle. Might just steal away this blue buff. Could find a kill as well, but Hero Joe's quite tanky. Sundered Sky keeps himself alive, and actually does get the blue buff, so Smoke won't steal anything away. Hero Joe going to go back in. Kizak has now joined the party here. Going to look for the Fate Seal that does land onto Hero Joe, who's going to have to try and run for his life, but there's Smoke with the ultimate. Now Sinja trading back a little bit of damage here. Might find this 600 gold bounty, make it 500 gold bounty rather, onto that Garen, and is going to do so. But now the Curse of the Sad Mummy comes through. Combine it with the True Shot Barrage for so much damage. Now Supro with the Arcane Shift joins the party, and the rest of A finishes off those kills and makes it a 4-for-1. They continue to find advantages and might just find themselves a Baron.
Yeah, they turn to essentially take an uncontested Baron here. Actually, I thought that was a really good placement of the Zyra ultimate, as he was kind of bandage tossing himself into that big area of CC. But what they didn't count for is an Ezreal who was just going to throw an ult from a mile away, and he didn't really care about the CC. He just did all the damage from like about 2 screens away. So.
Yeah, this is your textbook Ezreal game. If you're watching this, you want to know how you're supposed to play an Ezreal game. This is exactly how it is. You get an advantage with your strong laning, and you just run with it. You don't scale too well. Now that Spear of Shojin is finished, this is like true peak Ezreal right now. You want to end the game as fast as possible. You don't want it to go to late game. You're not as strong in the late game, but right now you are Thanos with all the Infinity Stones. So much damage from such high range. You have escapes. You have Milio healing. This is the spot that Supro wants to be in. So keep your eye on the Ezreal. You've already seen previews of what the damage can be, but we'll see how much damage it can be now with all that CDR unlocked with that Spear of Shojin. Smoke finds Sinja. And this is probably going to be a solo kill. One of them is going to die here, I believe. But Sinja might actually get out with the R2. Actually going to find the solo kill and takes down Smoke. Excellent job from the Akali. Now going to mitigate some of that Baron pressure. Yep,
they still have the Akali factor. They still have tools at their disposal, Essence Thieves does, to win some of these fights and skirmishes. But the burden of execution is definitely heavier on Essence Thieves. Like I was saying earlier, now, as you aptly described, Ezreal entering the Thanos mode, Amumu, Yone, Milio, like even Garen, all they have to do is really disrupt and then let Ezreal carry the fights. Whereas Essence Thieves really have to kind of pull up some creative strategies, interesting flanks. They definitely have to execute more in these fights if they want to have a chance.
Yeah, and that last, the one of the fights previous when Sinja went in onto multiple backline members and died, shows kind of a wake here because Hero Joe could be looking for an engage. This is Ezreal though, but the Sonic Wave does land before the Arcane Shift, and wow, Taxi Bus into death. That was insane. And Mr. Miyagi's next on the menu, oh my gosh, absolutely deleted off the face of the earth. You can see that Ezreal damage gone in an instant.
Yeah, if you can't blow up the Ezreal, he's certainly going to blow up you. I'd imagine at least another tower will fall. I don't know if Talia and Sinja can really hold this or have the wave core to do so.
Well, there's going to be the flash forward. They actually might just want to end this game right here, right now. Talia is the target, and Talia will fall. They are going to get the inhib. This is 5 versus 2 for the moment. They're pushed strong. There's 8 seconds left on both Hero Joe and Mr. Miyagi. There's not enough time. There's really not enough health on these towers. Sinja can't do it all, and the Nexus is going to fall, and that's going to be it. Just like that, Ape wins the game 27 minutes in. That's exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah, no, nice bit of really building to their win condition, and then, like you said, just closing it out before it became a problem. So they did exactly like you instructed, cleared the game pre 30 minutes, and yeah, Ape is looking good going to 2-0 on the season. So congrats to them, and well fought for Essence Thieves. Cool.
Yeah, Ape improves to 2-0. We will head to a quick break before Game 2. Game 2 will be Beans going up against Sky Splitters. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back in a moment. And yeah, don't get lost on your way back, because we'll be back with another game.
Yep.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Odyssey 2024 season number 1. If you're just joining us, you missed the first game where we had Ape go up against Essence Thieves, and Ape were the ones to improve to 2-0 and take that win for themselves. On the caster desk today, my name is Ferris. I'm joined by Drubert, and we're here for game number 2 of the night. We have Sky Splitters going up against Beans.
Yes. We have Sky Splitters going up against Beans. Draft should be showing, again, what those teams did draft through. It's just a static image, but you see. So Sky Splitters was over on the blue side. And we saw them go up last week. Who did they play last week? They played against Ape.
Ape.
Yeah. So we saw them play against Ape, who, as we saw from that last game, is looking to be a pretty early impressive team. So we'll have to see how they match up against Beans here. Beans was on bye, so this is our first kind of true look at that team. So yeah, I'm excited to see what this team can bring, and excited to also see if Sky Splitters will bounce back after that. Potentially not big deal loss. It's hard to read week 1, but the fact that we saw how strong Ape looked in week 2 might be indicative that loss was not too big of a deal for Sky Splitters. But I don't know. I'm looking at the drafts here. Hui is always exciting to see. Viego can be exciting. Yeah. I don't know. Beans, so if you're not familiar with Beans, Ferris, they are a team that I think could be capable, just knowing the players, of breaking out some very interesting strategies, I'll say. They're players who would all be really bought in. So immediately when I see, I don't know how these games turn out, but when I see the Scion pick, like my mind immediately jumps to like an Inting Scion type situation. I'm not saying that's what we're going to see, but if any team was going to pull out kind of those more niche pocket strategies, it would definitely be Beans. So we could be in for a fun one, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot. You haven't seen a lot of Scion in season 14, to be honest. At least I haven't, let alone the Inting Scion. So if it is going to be that pick, we'll see how they play it, what build they'll go for. The one thing that catches my eye in this draft, and it's on the side of Sky Splitters, it's the Swain pick. Because if you look at Bean's draft, they have Galio, they have a Mumu, and they have Scion. These are 3 tanks, and they're 3 melee tanks. Unless Galio goes full AP, but for the most part, Galio is going to be right in your face. That's exactly what Swain wants. Infinite ultimate, that was changed a long time ago, but remember, Swain, as long as he has enemies in range, can infinitely have that demonic ascension cooking. And if you have a full melee team and even Tristana, right, wants to jump in, Swain has so much value in this game. I'm excited to see if they find really like a lot of value with this pick. And the reason why I'm talking about this so much is because I recently played a solo queue game with a Swain, and I had a draft similar to Bean's draft, and we just couldn't play the game because Swain was so OP into all these melee tanks. So that's my first takeaway, is I really like the Swain pick from the side of Sky Splitters. It looks like it will be a Swain support in the bot lane with that Caitlyn.
Yeah.
So not a mid lane Swain that's getting the most resources possible, but if it is a bloody bot lane, you could still see Swain ascend to that really powerful level.
Yeah, we'll see. One other thing that might be worth noting is when I see the Viego pick for Sky Splitters, I believe in week 1 they actually had Thrasher in the top lane and Phaser in the jungle, which is definitely a viable strategy. What's interesting with Sky Splitters is both Phaser and Thrasher are jungle mains. And so in that first week, Thrasher was off-rolling into the top lane. He is a big-time Viego player. So I think the fact that they drafted Viego tells me that now they might have Phaser in the off-roll. And it's just kind of another dynamic for Sky Splitters where, depending on what pick they can get their hands on, they may switch in and out who actually takes that jungle role. But I'm thinking it might be Thrasher for this week 2 matchup, just because I see the Viego locked in.
Yeah, that is interesting, and it becomes a little difficult to predict what Sky Splitters will pull out or who will be playing in the jungle because they might have different play styles. So it can be a little hard to prepare for a team like that too. So that is definitely an interesting advantage that they have, but we'll see, right? There's a lot of things to think about, but I think we're ready to head into the game and see how it unfolds.
Yeah, 1 second, we'll be in the game.
Actually, it's going to be a Galio support. That's interesting. So lots of engage with that Tristana, and it's actually going to be Hui support. I completely forgot that that is something that people like to do, is play Hui in the support role. So it actually will be a mid lane Swain, getting all that farm, getting those resources, being able to move to these different fights a lot easier. The Grub fights, the Herald fights, Drake fights, through that access in the mid lane. So I think that's really good for the side of Sky Splitters. I think the fact that Guilty Free Soul is playing Swain in the mid lane, I think it's a huge advantage for them. I think the Hui support is actually really nice.
Yeah, I've run across Sway support a few times in solo queue, and it certainly can be annoying. It's got a lot of utility. I mean, it's got such a complex kit that it can bring utility, it can bring damage, and it can really bring any one element that you might be lacking into any given situation. So it's definitely an interesting champion. As we see some early trading here, early blows. But yeah, Swain support will be very interesting to track. And it is Thrasher. I'm just checking where all the players are. It is Thrasher on that Viego in the jungle. So back in his home role, and we'll have to see what he can get done on one of his preferred picks, really.
Yeah, it might be tough depending, because as a melee champ, you talk about Swain who scored a build for these types of situations. Well, Viego can struggle because there's a lot of crowd control on the side of Bean's composition. They have Scion, they have Amumu who can use Curse of the Sad Mummy, they have Tibbers, they have Gallia who can taunt and all that stuff. So I do think this is a little bit of a tough spot draft-wise for Viego, but we'll see. Maybe Thrasher is just that guy, and so experienced on Viego that it can still pull off a success story in this game. And yeah, like bouncing off of what we were talking about with Hui, it's hard to prepare for this champion because there's so much that it can do that it's really hard to predict what's going to happen. And already we can see Caitlyn Hui is causing a world of hurt here for these two low range bot laners for the side of Beans.
Yeah, Beans can't really punch back, unfortunately, at the moment. They're either going to need jungle intervention or just wait a bit until they get more of their kits online. They basically have to pull the trigger, go all in, and be committed to it, because they're not going to win the war of attrition as we're seeing right here. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that is just so rough, right? Like, even just the ADC matchup, Caitlyn versus Tristana. Caitlyn is so good versus Triss, because if Triss tries to jump in, you can just 90 caliber net and there's nothing Triss can do. You just kite her to death. So yeah, I mean, Anna Gamer Girl is going to have a hard time. And yeah, they really need the help of Mandalorian. Otherwise, it's just going to be total destruction down there. We're going to see a gank here. Thrasher on the full clear. Skipped the Scuttle Crab and went straight top. We see some trading in the mid lane, but I do think Zexus is dead. Gonna charge the Decimating Smash. Did pop Ghost, but starts running the wrong way. The Spectral Maw will land. The CC will land. Phaser grabs that second kill of the game for Sky Splitters. Down in the bot side, though, Kioski has been found, and or Keo, and that way is going to have to flash away. Ronnie World now running away as well. Bandage Toss will not land. Ignite is ticking. Kiting going through, but the flash forward from Haya doesn't actually find what they need to finish off. The kill is dropping fairly low. Lots of things happening all across the map.
So that's kind of the tale of the two sides of this lane. I think jungle intervention, or if it's just an all-in slugfest, Beans does have some tools to kind of come out on top, but as soon as Anna goes in.
Here he goes. Anna goes in. The 90 caliber net lands, and the flash will be burned. Does that charge have enough to finish off the Caitlyn? No, it does not. Very close. Ronnie. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you are Ronnie World, you have to reset here. You are going to die if you stay underneath your turret. I'm telling you right now, you're going to die. Zexus is in trouble again. This Scion is getting camped like nobody's business. This really sucks, though. You're on the island. You're continuously getting ganked. And yeah, the Scion's going to drop again, just delaying the inevitable here. And looking towards the bot side, it actually seems that Mandalorian did reset. I thought maybe they were going to go for a dive. So maybe Ronnie World will actually be okay here. I thought they were going to dive the Caitlyn.
This actually an interesting little wrinkle to Sky Splitters. I think you'll appreciate when Whippo Roll swapped over in the LEC to jungle. And he was so adept at knowing how to gank for top lane. You kind of have a similar situation here with Phaser or Thrasher, regardless of who's in the top lane.
True.
Because they're both junglers, they know exactly what the right conditions are to get a gank from one another. So I'm not surprised to see the top lane camp. That's my long way of saying that.
Yeah, the thing is that Sion is able to survive with low resources, as Phaser does have to burn flash because Mandalorian made their way into the top lane. Sion isn't necessarily a carry champ, so you're a tank. Even if you miss out on some CS, your opponent gets a few kills, you're still Sion. You can still tank. You can still play side lane if that's your option. So the Sion won't be too out of the game per se, but yeah, it's definitely nice to have 2 kills onto your Poppy there. And it's a good point you made about the fact that both of these jungle players on the side of Sky Splitters can play that top lane, know what's up. We do see the roam from Haya to the Grubs here, and the trade will be made on the bot side for Sky Splitters.
Yep, Grubs for Dragon is not my favorite trade. It does end up working out pretty okay if you can get, like we saw last game, to 5 or 6 Grubs, then you feel pretty good about it, but...
Well, we're going to see Tibbers. I think this is just going to be a trade. I don't think there's enough damage for a kill.
Yeah, Tibbers is going to kind of chase the Swain back. But yeah, you're kind of hoping, you're banking on the fact that you're going to get at least a 5 Grubs with the next spawn. Or if you don't, you definitely will not love that you gave up the Dragon. But you have to track that. And I think something else that I personally think is OP in like organized League of Legends 5v5 is Poppy, which I'll have to hold that thought.
Snyderman has flash, should be okay. Spectrum on lands, but the pull here from Guilty Free Soul does miss. Demonic Ascension pop, but Snyderman is out of there with a flash burned.
Yeah, I think, so as we kind of come back to that top lane, I think the Poppy ultimate can be so OP in organized play because you can turn any team fight.
Oh, we're going to see an engage in the bot side. The stun will actually land, so Ronnie World getting too aggressive underneath the turret. Haya going to find that kill. Look at the bunny hopping from Anna Gamer Girl on this Tristana. Isn't actually going to find the second kill on Nikio, but yeah, that's good stuff for the Tristana there.
Yeah, Tristana, one of those older champions that is, I think, still holds up in terms of exciting gameplay.
Oh, Crash is going to get involved here, so Haya and Anna... They've overextended a lot. This is a level 6 Viego. They are both going to die if they're not careful here. They do actually have access to the flash. Haya does not, but Anna does. And so Anna will get out of there. The Galio will be the target, and the kill will go over to Thrasher. I looked at the items there because he transformed into Galio, and I thought Viego had a World Atlas. I was like, what?
Don't they know they got nerfed? You can't go double support items. Yeah, that is one of the funny things where it mirrors the items, too. It's definitely thrown me off once or twice. Sion's gonna have to take another back. Doesn't have TP, but does have he does have that ultimate, so he can still get back to lane pretty quickly. Maybe not give up too much here.
Yeah, probably should commit that ult. Unless he just doesn't care about missing that wave. There's a huge wave being missed, though, here. Actually, Anna's going to be able to catch most of it, but it's 3 plates collected for this bot lane of Sky Splitters. When you play Caitlyn, you like to get those tower plates, so having 3 at the 9-minute mark, that's pretty solid. You definitely like that. So Caitlyn is definitely feeling really happy right now, despite losing her life there in the earlier trade. It actually was Galio that got the kill, and you still have a 24 CS lead. So Sky Splitters bot lane still doing well, top lane doing well. The game state is still pretty good for them, about a 2k gold lead.
I'd let them know where the Grubs are spawning, but nope, just broken. All right, well, we just will never know. I think it's 54 seconds is what the overlay is what the spectator mode is saying, but we'll see here.
Yeah, it has that gray hourglass near the pit, so I think that means at least 1 minute, at most 1 minute until they spawn, and then when the yellow hourglass shows up, I believe it's 10 seconds left until it spawns. So we have that rough idea. We just don't know exactly.
And you see Mango already on the top side, wanting to be in the area to kind of set up for that. Again, they did invest heavily into Grubs with the first 3 and giving up the Dragon, so they definitely want to at least get 5 or 6 to make it worth their while. I would say, particularly because they have Tristana, who is already so adept at pushing towers just with her kit. and you add the grubs on top of that, and that could be a pretty powerful recipe for some tower taking.
Yeah, absolutely. Tristana will excel in that tower taking department, and we see Mandalorian off the hop is on these grubs here, but Guilty Free Souls moved up from the mid lane, and Thrasher is on the way as well. So none of these grubs have been taken. Mandalorian engages onto that Swain, but there's the Spectral Maw, is going to use the Curse of the Sad Mummy plus the Flash to get out of there and will live, but I don't think they're going to get these grubs. So unfortunately, the 6 grub dream for the side of Beans is not going to come to fruition. And I didn't think it would either, because they are so behind in this top side. Thrasher is strong, and the Poppy's fed, but like she didn't even get involved in that play. It really just was unfortunate timing. They had to play more together there with that play. Was now we see an engage. Excellent use of the 90 caliber net from Ronnie World to get away from that taunt, but here comes Snyderman from the mid lane. Ghost is popped. Is probably going to use the Timbers here, and there it is. The flash forward from Anna to follow up with some damage, and Snyderman will grab that kill. So they do trade one on the bot side.
There's not much you can do when you're the Caitlyn in that scenario. He gets Tibbers, he gets bombed, he gets just absolutely blown up there. So nice little counterplay there, cross map. They do lose out on the grubs, but Snyderman with a heads up play rotates bot, knowing that most of their focus and resources for Sky Splitters was towards the top side of the map there.
I wanna shout out Ronnie World's itemization choice. A lot of times you like to see Storm Razor on Caitlyn, and even nowadays it's Static Shiv with how strong that item is. But with the mass amounts of frontline for the side of Beans, that Kraken Slayer with the ramping physical damage is actually a great choice. So nice itemization from Ronnie World. That's actually going to be a lot of damage that he's going to gain in the later stages of the game, shooting these tanks multiple times.
And you see a Kraken also come through for Viego as well. So they will have a pretty solid front line on the side of Beans, but yeah, 2 Krakens is definitely going a long way to mitigate some of that. And you have to remember Galio is going to be on a support's income, so won't be as tanky as some of the mid lane tank Galios that we've seen in the past.
And all of these champions are itemizing early armor, just because that's usually what's natural with these tank champions. And so you can't forget about Swain either. Remember, we were talking about how valuable Swain can be into these low range comps. So you also can't stack too much armor because you still have that Swain to worry about. So they do have really nice split damage types there. So it makes it hard for these tanks to itemize efficiently. And we can see Phaser trying to eat into this Scion's health bar. Like I said, you lost two kills, but still have a CS lead here for this Scion, and once you have these few items, like you're chilling. You're so tanky, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Scion's gonna do his job regardless.
We see a pull in the mid lane. Guilty Free Soul pops the Demonic Ascension. Snyderman forced to flash. The follow flash happens, and this is going to be the solo kill. Excellent stuff there from the Swain in the mid lane. The bandage toss will miss, but there is the unstoppable onslaught that is going to land onto Phaser, but Zexus actually crashed in the tower range. Is going to grab a play in the zombie form, but is going to lose his life 3-0 now for the Poppy in the top side. And Ronnie World and Keo have found that tower in the bot lane.
Yeah, first tower to go down here, and they're working on their second. I imagine this won't be long for this world. Yeah, they should have all the damage they need to take that here. One mid, if they so should choose. Looks like they're going to leave it for now. And maybe turn attention to Herald here?
Yeah, it should be a pretty easy solo take. Mandalorian's half HP in no position to contest this, but it actually looks like Thrasher's going to move off of it. There is that Scuttle Crab vision there for Beans, so maybe that was the deciding factor for Thrasher to pull off of that. You can move your way, or you can, as a jungler, work your way around that vision. It doesn't provide a ton. You can see on the minimap there, it only provides that little pocket, so you can work your way around that vision if you're playing a champion that has good mobility there. But even Viego can't really wall hop, so just gonna wait for now. There's still lots of time before that Baron spawns for them to take that Rift round, so they will choose to wait. We see Haya has been caught out here, is going to taunt up that Viego, and is going to try and escape, but isn't going to be able to do so. Ronnie World, though, caught up by Tibbers, but it isn't quite enough damage from Snyderman, and the Heartbreaker is going to come through, combined with the Hui ultimate for a double kill here for Thrasher. Now a fight in the top side, but I think that's just going to be extended trading here Or is it? Phasor, the ghost has been popped now. Thrasher's going to get involved in this play. There's the Keeper's Verdict to knock up the Scion for the moment. And a Heartbreaker, or maybe it's on cooldown, but it does not matter. That Kraken Slayer does good damage. And yeah, Sky Splitter is starting to run away with this one. 6,000 gold lead here at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat for sure. Almost certainly going to turn on the Herald at this point, which will be a nice neutral pickup here for them as well to continue to snowball. And Beans really is going to have to kind of go back to the drawing board and try and A, stem the bleeding, and B, try and navigate through this mid game and puzzle their way to see if there's a world where they can find a win condition here. I don't see one quite yet. That doesn't mean it's not there, but I don't see an easy path to victory for them. But stranger things have happened, and we'll have to see. Maybe some creative plays get them back into this.
Yeah, you're right. It's pretty doomed from this point on. As long as Sky Splitters plays, they don't even have to play perfectly, right? They can just, as long as they're not giga throwing, like going for the most egregious plays possible, they'll probably win this game. They have enough tools to snowball it and work their way to ending just before the 30-minute mark, similar to what happened last game. So yeah, in order for Beans to come back, they just have to maintain their composure, and they can't make any more mistakes, and they have to wait for a time to pounce on a mistake made by Sky Splitters. So they just have to be patient, and they have to wait for the right time. But for the moment, Rift Herald going to be dropped. Going to ride that Rift Herald into the tower. This could actually become a tower dive, or probably not even a tower dive, because they're just going to kill off this tower before they actually go for the Scion. But the Keeper's Verdict, they say, we don't even want to kill you. We just want you out of here. Just leave. And they just launch him out, take the tower, and yeah, that's the last tier 1 knockdown for the side of Sky Splitters in this game.
Yep. Feeling good if you're a Sky Splitters fan. And we'll see. Dragon Take, I mean, it's something. It's a start for sure. You stop the Drake stacks here. So, I mean, this is kind of what you have to do. Oh, whew, I was hoping I didn't jinx something. This is kind of what you have to do. You got to cross map. You got to make them work for...
Oh, Guilty Free Soul. So this is what I'm talking about, right? Like,
yep.
Guilty Free Soul, you're not really going to steal that Drake. You're kind of just hovering for no reason here, and so you have to pounce on this mistake that was made by the Swain, and so this is what they need to do. Like, unfortunately, this pick is not going to be enough to change the course of the game, and neither is the Dragon, but if they can find multiple of these good picks, then this is a way that they can find themselves back into the game. So it's a good start. They're going to have to continue to stay the course and see what happens, but it's something there, like you said.
Yeah. Definitely a start. I mean, you break up the Drake stacking. You do get a pick there, so you're going to need quite a few more plays like that one. I actually think there's the possibility of catching someone on a side lane if Sky Splitters plays really arrogantly, because you do have the Tibbers. You always have the Tibbers factor. Yeah. But
yeah, a lot of lockdown CC, Tibbers, yeah, Flash Tibbers, you can even get that Bandage Toss, Curse of the Sad Mummy, all that good stuff, Galio follow-up from long range. They do lose their tier 2 in the mid lane. Snyderman is going to find the Viego here, is going to flash away from the Heartbreaker, and is going to lose that Key Summoner spell. So you lose your ability to bank on that Flash Tibbers there. You're going to have to wait 5 minutes for that to come back. So if we talked about a game plan for Beans, let's talk about a game plan here for Thrasher. The game plan is to end the game as fast as possible when you're in this moment. You don't want to give them a chance to come back. You just want to get it done as fast as you can. And so the way to do that is to push out this mid lane, make sure you have constant mid push, and then move into the side lanes and look for odd man advantages. You look for plays, pick someone off on the side lane, take out a tier 2 turret. Baron is now going to be up here in about 25 seconds time, so you can play for an early Baron too if you find enough kills. You want to clear the vision in the enemy jungle, make it so that they can't see anything, and that they're pretty much relegated to their towers if they want to make safe plays. The only safe play is to stay underneath the tower. That is the game plan here, or at least what should be the game plan here for Sky Splitters. That's how they close out this game without making any mistakes that could lead to crazy 7k gold lead comebacks.
Yeah, for sure. You see them, they're setting up for this Baron properly. They're sending Guilty down the top side of the map. He was in the bot, and then they're going to send Most likely Phaser to take the bot lane duties as he does have TP. So you see them make that switch of their side laners. They've got the 3-man unit here guarding the choke point. And yeah, they're just textbook setting up for this Baron take.
Yep, flash over the wall is Thrasher. Not going to find the Spectral Mob, but Haya's going to land into a trap. But who's caught up in the middle of this play? It's Keo, who's taking down with the Ignite, but using the shield to keep himself alive. But Mandalorian is in hot pursuit and will trade his life, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 for the moment. And a Gamer Girl jumps onto Thrasher and finds a 900 gold shutdown. Huge stuff here for this Tristan, a guilty free soul, fighting with Snyderman on the top side of the fight, and is going to easily win out in this exchange. So far it is a 2-for-2. Not so bad, actually, if you are Beans right now, because you're not supposed to go even in these fights. So we'll see what they can do, what Sky Splitters can do here. Can they take this tower?
Yeah, no, 100% you will be happy with that as Beans. You go even in a fight that you had no business going even in, and you get the jungler, so you kind of stall that Baron take.
And that jungler was worth 900 gold too. Oh, here we go, ace in the hole. Zexus is too tanky, can't take out that Scion. But yeah, 900 gold went the way of Anna Gamer Girl. So it like slowly, you have to be careful if you are Sky Splitters. You can't have more of these plays happen, because then like you're gonna blink and your lead's gonna be gone, and then you're gonna keep going for these plays and be like, why aren't they working? It's like, because they're getting stronger slowly, your lead is disappearing. You can't go for these plays anymore. But yeah, it's still a lead. They just have to keep doing this. They have to keep stalling. They have to keep looking for the plays that are guaranteed. Can't get too cocky. They could potentially find Thrasher out here on this Scuttle Crab. Does have access to the Heartbreaker over the wall. There is no Curse of the Sad Mummy. Is going to use the Heartbreaker to the right side and will dodge away from the bandage tosses. Ooh, another close exchange there for Thrasher in the river.
Yeah, he does secure that Scuttle Vision. Two neutrals are going to be up here shortly. In about 20 seconds, you'll have Dragon and Baron will still be up. So interesting to see where Sky Splitters looks to turn their focus, and if Beans wants to contest, or they're content to cross map and take what neutral objective is.
Well, Haya's been caught out here inside of the brush. The Steadfast Presence is going to lock in that Galio, but here's a huge Way ultimate into multiple people, and a Gamer Girl has found one kill. But look at the Swain dealing so much damage, and actually Way ultimate had so much value as well. That is going to be the ace here for Sky Splitters. They will be able to get the third Drake. They will be able to crack open the base, probably get an inhibitor, and just excellent team fighting there. The Hui found so much value with that ultimate.
Yeah, that fight really breaks open the map here. As you say, they'll get that Dragon, which puts them on Soul Point. They'll certainly crack in and probably take an inhibitor, and I would imagine, and then they still have the Baron play in their back pocket, so they'll be able to take everything here that we're seeing off the map, probably another tower in the bot lane, reset, spend all of that hard-earned gold, and then be that much stronger to set up a dance around the Baron yet again.
Yeah, and for Beans, it's just heartbreaking, right? Because you found a few plays which were bringing you back into the game, and then you slip up once, and then you're just back to square one. They get all that gold right back through turrets and kills, and it's tough. Now you're losing an inhibitor, so it's harder to push out mid lane and get mid priority to get vision. So it's tough now. It gets really tough. They're going to have to look for a Miracle Baron steal, maybe catch someone out who's overextended, like looks like Keo here, but I don't think Amumu has what it takes to take him down 1v1, but maybe if a second bandage toss lands and Anna Gamer Girl is sitting right here to follow up in this kill, then it might go their way. As the flash away from Mandalorian, there's the Galio ultimate just in case. And I think that's just going to be a free pick, so that's something there. They continuously are fighting. They're not giving up.
Yeah, which is definitely... we can maybe see more.
It's found the Caitlyn, and there's the shutdown. That's going to be that immediate burst coming through from the Annie. Guilty Free Soul did pop the ultimate, but there's nothing really to have here. But they're actually going to re-engage back onto it. Mandalorian has found Thrasher. They've overextended. All the things that we've talked about, we said it's very unlikely, but these are the plays that you want to go for. They could look for Baron right now.
Yeah, they certainly can turn on Baron. They'll have to see how confident they are to kind of pull the trigger. I think you have to go for it when you're this far down, but looks like we might just be getting some resets coming through.
This is a solo kill. Zexus is dead. Yeah. Finally, all that trading in the top lane actually resulted in a solo kill there. Usually it's the junglers getting involved, but I mean, that kill really doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, I think the opportunity for Baron has passed now for Beans, so
Yeah.
that solo kill.
Definitely not safe to take Baron at this point. But I will say you did see some of the strength of that Beans comp that we kind of highlighted earlier. They have the tools to be a really good pick comp. So if Sky Splitters does kind of trickle into a fight 1-by-1 like that again, Beans is going to be able to blow them up kind of regardless of how far behind they are. So Sky Splitters going to have to be a little bit more careful how they start these fights out, I think.
Yeah, and so now we saw 2 teleports from both these teams. Keeper's Verdict charged and missed, and Phaser now goes in with the wall, into the wall with the heroic charge, and it actually flashes away from the taunt, so a little interesting here. It didn't really seem like much was going to happen, but a few summoner spells and ultimates were burned. But back onto the Baron goes Sky Splitters here, and so they're actually just going to flip this. So they should pull off of this because a steal could come through from Mandalorian. Focus up, Amumu. You have to find this smite steal. He's going to find the bandage toss in. Is in smite range. Oh! He find it. Yes, he can. Are you kidding me? The 50-50 works out. Now they have to win the fight or get out of it. It looks like they're not really winning this fight right now. It's 2 kills that have gone the way of Sky Splitters here, and it's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of them, but they do lose the Baron. This is a textbook play that's going to turn into a small throw here. Haya is going to be found out by Thrasher. To the Blast Cone they go, and the Blast Cone they go over. But Zexus is pushing out this wave and does have access to that Baron-empowered minion, so I don't think an end is possible. This is a Baron steal. Excellent stuff from Mandalorian to find it.
Yeah, no, they didn't pull off the Baron there critically, and we see Galio coming in.
Oh,
they're gonna have
actually,
to
this could be a fight. So now they might have overextended here. This is another potential misplay here for the side of Sky Splitters. Phaser's going to drop. High is going to get that kill credit. Keo has to flash away from the decimating smash. And things starting to fall apart here. It's still a 4.5k gold lead. Thrasher's going to be able to take out this tier 2 off the backside. They might actually look to take out the Viego, but should have enough space bot between himself and the guy to escape. He's going to continue to try. I don't think it's possible. Viego's out of there.
What you do have to be a little bit nervous about if you are a Sky Splitters fan right now is the fact that there is just a ton of standing gold on the map still. So while Beans is still, as you called out, about 5k down, all of those tier 1 towers are up, bounties are up, and they've got the tools to take towers very, very quickly. But I think they're going to have to deal with this soul point before we get to that. So,
and we're going to have another potential pick here. Guilty Free Soul caught up. Haya is going to find this one. The Unstoppable Onslaught will not find anything, but Swain is going to be taken out. It's another shutdown going the way of Anna, who's going to jump right in. There's a Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 2. Ronnie World's going to drop as well. Anna Gamer Girl is going crazy. This is the ADC carry experience that we want. Another kill comes through. That's going to be Thrasher that's going to fall, and now Phaser is the next target. Triple kill for Anna. Could we potentially see a pentakill angle? They're so low, but no. Actually, this actually could be a pentakill. Are they going to look for it? I don't think it'd be wise to actually chase down this penta. If you want to win the game, you take this dragon here. Keo, I don't think you'll have any steal angle. Okay, this is actually a throw. Like, this game could potentially be a Beans victory now.
It is much closer than I think either of us thought it would be at 28 minutes. And as I said, there's still a ton of standing gold. They're going to be able to pick up at least, you would think, a tier 1 tower here, which will chip all that much closer to getting the gold dead even. Anna's got 8 kills to her name. Plenty of items online now. Yeah, this is looking like a game. This is looking like a game. And again, if Sky Splitters doesn't respect the kind of the pick potential that Beans has, we're gonna keep seeing these fights potentially go the way of Beans.
Yeah, so what Sky Splitters has to do now, you need a mental reset. You're a little bit frustrated. I can tell that they probably thought they had this game in the bag, and now it's crumbling in front of their face, and they're like, okay, what are we doing? Like, we gotta force something, we gotta fight, we gotta kill them, but we can't because they're so far ahead. or they're back now. So like, what
Yeah.
do we do? You have to mental reset. You have to play the game like it's dead even again, because it's basically dead even now. You have to just reset and focus up, lock in, and just play like you aren't ahead anymore, because you aren't, and you can't continue to play like you're ahead, because if you do, you're going to get burned here, because now the gold, like you said, all that standing gold has made it even. You have to just try, and I'm going to say this for a third time, mental reset.
Yeah.
And so that's what they need to do. They need to lock in. This is a close game now. We're in for it here. They don't want to throw the game any further. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, 100%. Coordination is the name of the game if you're Sky Splitters. I mean, we've seen it time and time again on display. If you are out of sync, even just slightly, like you might not think you're in danger. You might be half a screen away from the rest of your team. But that half a screen is all the space that Beans needs to pull off that 100-0 combo and just completely start the snowball fight. So what I really want to see out of this mental reset is Sky Splitters. I want to see them put together a well-coordinated 5v5 fight where they kind of all go in unison. And I think that's what we need to see if they want to kind of wrestle back control of this game.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. They've been caught out a lot. They have to play as a team. They have to play front to back. They need the Swain tanking up in the front line. They need to be peeling the Caitlyn. They need to find some type of way for Poppy to stop Anna from just ripping through everyone's HP bar. Because you look, this is almost one item away from a full build Tristana. And
Yep.
Tristana is a massive late game threat. So you have to find a way to stop her from just taking over all of these fights, and it becomes increasingly difficult when you see that Guardian Angel in the item inventory. So they're going to have to really, like you said, group up together and also figure out a game plan here to combat this excellent team fighting draft that Beans has.
Yeah, and Sky Splitters has the tools. Like if they can go in as a 5-man unit, you get so much value out of the Keeper's Verdict. Like you can go in as 5 and turn that into a 5v4 like very quickly. Sometimes even a 5v3 if you can get a multi-man Poppy alt, which we haven't really seen come to fruition yet, but that is something else I'm going to be looking for. And here's another pick.
Oh, Snyderman makes the play, flashes onto Keo and finds the one shot, but it's going to be traded immediately 1-for-1. But there's the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Combine it with that Galio ultimate. So much CC being layered onto Thrasher. Is going to get that reset there. Is going to transform. Is going to use the Heartbreaker. Haya is up next. Anna has jumped right into the fight and is going to regret that decision. Is going to try and flash out, but there's the resets for Viego. Sky Splitters have pulled it together. The trap onto the Guardian Angel to immediately give the kill over to Ronnie World, and they have found the fight they were looking for.
Yeah, that one, if you're wondering why that one went different, because it looked like it started the same that so many of these fights have. They do find, Beans does find the pick onto Kioske there, but I think critically Anna was not up with the team yet. She was still coming back from a reset, and so they were missing kind of that backline Tristana damage over the top to kind of carry those fights.
Oh, it's going to be canceled. Zexus is going to fall unless the unstoppable onslaught. That's right. I forgot this is Scion. Oh, Poppy can't even pull him out of it. Might actually be able to chase this down. Oh, isn't actually going to go for it. But you're right. Your analysis is correct, Drubert. They didn't have their ADC. So what happened was Snyderman burns the full combo on Keo. That's all of Annie's damage gone. Annie does no more damage. And you don't have your ADC, so they had a great engage. They're layering all their CC onto Thrasher and onto Ronnie World, but they don't do damage. They have no damage to kill them. And then Anna jumped in, then she's like, oh crap, I'm in the middle of 3 people, I need to flash out, but couldn't get out in time, got pulled back in by Swain, and that was the issue. Their damage wasn't there, and their damage jumped in when they shouldn't have, and they have to be a little bit more careful next time. Pick and choose their engages a little bit more carefully.
Thrasher might be... Okay. Whoa.
Damage just lands. Magdalorian finds the Curse of the Sad Mummy onto 2, Decimating Smash onto 2 as well. But they simply cannot penetrate through this front line. Anna Gamergirl cannot find a safe angle to start free hitting, and so they're just going to have to back away. It doesn't actually turn out into anything. But remember, this is Soul. This is the Mountain Soul up and available here for the side of Sky Splitters. and they have the priority right now. But remember, Mandalorian did steal away that Baron, could do the exact same with this Dragon, but they have learned from their mistakes, and they are taking out the jungler first this time, so the fight is going to ensue. Mandalorian trying to focus down this Drake, but it's still pretty healthy, and the jungler is going to drop, so this should almost certainly mean that the Drake is going to go the way of Sky Splitters as the fight does ensue. The Dragon is still sitting at 700 HP, a double kill there for Thrasher. You gotta smite the Dragon, man. It actually does go over the way of Beans right now. I can't believe they didn't finish off that Dragon. They do get the ace. It might not matter because I think they could just go for the end.
Yeah, that was a crazy dragon fight to take us to 3 Drakes apiece, but I do think I agree it might not matter here as Sky Splitters pushes for the close. Unfortunately for Beans, that was the second fight in a row where it was just another messy fight on both sides, honestly, and they weren't able to pull off that full combo, and I think we're going to see Nexus's fall here, and Sky Splitters even up their record to 1-1.
A valiant effort, though, from Beans in that game. They showed great composure in bringing what looked like a certain loss back from the brink to an even game. They still ended up falling, but I think they showed a great display of mental fortitude there and the willingness to keep fighting and to try and come back. And we had ourselves quite a good game. I think that was also the longest game we've had yet, 35 minutes.
Yep.
That's probably the longest game we've had so far here in Season 1. But yeah, congratulations to Sky Splitters. Like you said, they improved to 1-1. And that is game number 2, finished off. And that will also finish off the stream. So before we close, Drewbert, anything you want to say to the viewers who are watching today?
No, thanks for tuning back in here in week 2. And yeah, appreciate all the people in chat sharing their thoughts, cheering on their favorite teams. Really excited that we got to see Beans make their debut here. So now we've seen all of our competitors at least take to the Rift one time. And I think having now surveyed the full field, I think it's going to be a fun season. I think every team kind of brings something exciting to the table. And yeah, I'm excited to see how the rest of the season plays out.
Me too. So that's going to do it for the stream. This was week number 2. We'll see you guys back same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday for week number 3. Thanks. Huge shout out this stream to Drewbert, who is doing the production and also filled in for Claire here as the color caster. So thank you, Drewbert, for doing that. You did an excellent job. And we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.